Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Dr. Tovi. I am the founder and owner of Eyes on Security, a cybersecurity consulting firm. I wanted to stop by for a few moments to discuss a topic that's near and dear to all IT and security professionals: vulnerability management. Now, why is Tovi taking the time to talk about vulnerability management? We're all experts in the field, correct? Well, if you've been reading the news and looking at all the information security alerts and briefs and just understand that hacking is still occurring, we have an issue that we as IT and security professionals must address, and that is how to keep our environment safe. Now, as an individual who feels I am knowledgeable about many things in regards to information security and information technology, I am not the subject matter expert on every facet of technology nor security. But I do understand that when you have information documented of how you address vulnerabilities within your organization, but you do not apply or do not practice what you preach, then that allows our organizations to become vulnerable to attacks. And you have internal attacks as well as external attacks. Both are very dangerous to an organization that's thriving and growing. But when we think about vulnerability management, we have to look at how we're maintaining the system, how we're addressing continuous monitoring, how we are documenting um, action plans, if you will, in the event of an incident that may occur. Now, why is this important? Again, the hackers are not asleep. They're going after small businesses, large businesses, corporations, conglomerates. Sometimes it's local to our community, and other times it's nation or worldwide impacting. So when I think of vulnerability management, I ask myself, how are we continuing to not address these ongoing issues that we have every day? Is it okay to have our RHEL 7 servers unpatched when they are the lifeblood of many organizations when it comes to protecting information, sharing information, storing classified information? What about those databases that we won't scan because we're afraid that something is going to break within our environment? How can we go years knowing that a vulnerability exists, but we don't address it because no one has the personal courage or the professional courage to say something? Or they leave it to someone else to do because it doesn't fall into their scope of work or responsibility. Security is everyone's responsibility. It's not just the security professionals or the IT professionals that are maintaining the environment. If you witness something within your environment, you must say something. If you notice that a critical patch or of an application or system is not applied, ask yourself why. Now, I'm not talking about Microsoft Office 365. I'm not talking about Adobe. I'm talking about core components of our environment, hardware within our environment, operating systems within our environment that we know there's a deficiency and we fail to address it. We become a part of the problem. I have been in several positions over the course of the last 10 years where there was a lot going on with the different organizations, but we failed to address the elephant in the room, if you will. We failed to identify our assets. We have loose controls that are operating within our environment. We have documentation that does not align to the processes that we have in place. Our efforts are not practical and we can't rely on them. These are areas of vulnerability within our organization. Yes, but tell me, we have a policy. Having a policy is the baseline. Having a network security policy, network management policy, vulnerability management policy, these are baseline documents that collect dust over the years if they're not reviewed annually. When patches are released, and patches are released often by third parties, vendors, and manufacturers, are we testing those patches? Do we have a release life cycle? Do we have a system in place where we can update our environments? What happens when we get these notifications and alerts that there's suspicious behavior going on within our network, occurring within our network? Who's addressing that suspicious behavior? Who's taking a deeper dive? Who's managing possible vulnerabilities and threats to our organization? Now, I'm not here to tell you how to do your job. I'm here to tell you to pay attention. Don't turn a blind eye to what can cripple your organization, resulting in revenue loss, unemployment, as well as loss in credibility in what your reputation or what your company stands for when it's providing products and services to consumers. Vulnerability management is not a we'll get back to it type of situation. Vulnerabilities have to be addressed based on their level of criticality. Yes, we want to address the critical and high vulnerabilities that exist within our environment, but we also want to address that low hanging fruit, those informational notifications that just be aware. It's nothing to take, no need to take action now, but keep monitoring this situation. Vulnerability management is also about change management. It's about how we apply changes and get those changes approved so we can still perform, so the organization can still operate at an effective and an efficient rate so we maintain our reputation. We're dependent on by our consumers. So we must address issues that reside within our organization. Now, I hear that Toby Rome wasn't built overnight. You're right, it wasn't. Rome wasn't built overnight, but turning a blind eye to ongoing issues and hoping that they go away, that is a representation of ineffective security practices. And that means your security posture is poor. And we must address things head on. Now, we have the policies, we have the processes. Tell me we don't have enough personnel. Get contractors in there if your organization allows. Don't have single point of failures depending on individuals. Make sure that we're addressing all the vulnerabilities that come across or we're paying attention. Make sure that we have continuous level of effort applied in our day-to-day practices when it comes to maintaining and securing our environment. Vulnerability management is making sure that that equipment is operational, making sure that a security incident, excuse me, a cyber incident doesn't tear down our organization where we cannot recover from. How would your clients feel or your customers feel if you had a known security issue that was ongoing for several years and you didn't address it and now you're in the news explaining why data has leaked from the organization or why you have no idea amount of how much data, the type of data has been released due to a failed patch or for a failed security control that should have been placed but wasn't in place. Security is everybody's responsibility. Vulnerability management is the responsibility of those security analysts, engineers, information security owners, business owners, data owners who must be in tune and aligned to what's going on with the equipment and applications operating within the environment. I know that I'm on my high horse and I get it. But I have been fortunate to be a part of some federal organizations now that are struggling with vulnerability management. Organizations that process critical information. But the same was true when I was working in public and private industry, in the educational and technical arena, where patch management, or excuse me, vulnerability management did not get the needed attention that was required to sustain the environment. And we were quickly trying to be reactive to avoid a security nightmare. So think about your vulnerability practices that you have in place. Think about your policies, your standards, your processes, your procedures. Think about how you test out these different response plans that you have. Make sure you have the right level of visibility, the appropriate level of visibility within your environment regarding continuous monitoring of events that may be occurring. Adopt a patch schedule. Make sure you have backups in place and that you're testing your backups. Make sure that your security infrastructure or your security posture is sound and is dependable and reliable and maintains a level of availability that is expected by your executives, your decision makers, your internal stakeholders, and above all, your customers who depend on you. Thanks for watching.